Ever notice how you can spend hours planning how to be productive tomorrow, but when tomorrow actually comes, your body mysteriously transforms into a potato? I mean, you had such good intentions. You were going to wake up at 5 a.m., go for a run, meal prep for the week, organize your closet, and finish that project you've been putting off for 3 months. But instead, here you are, in the same spot on your couch where we left you yesterday. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Well, okay, it is technically your fault, but it's also a problem with your brain. And we're going to explore why your brain absolutely loves being lazy. See, your brain is essentially a 3-pound blob of jelly that consumes 20% of your body's energy, while only making up 2% of your body weight. It's like that friend who eats half the pizza despite being the smallest person at the table. And just like that friend, your brain is constantly looking for ways to conserve energy. Think about it this way. Our ancestors didn't have DoorDash. They had to hunt their own food and run from predators. Conserving energy wasn't just convenient, it was essential for survival. The prehistoric human who expended energy unnecessarily was the prehistoric human who became another animal's lunch. So our brains evolved to be incredibly efficient energy-saving machines. Your brain's primary job isn't to make you productive or successful or even happy. It's to keep you alive while using as little energy as possible. And that's where your brain gets clever. It has its own energy conservation department working behind the scenes. First up is the basal ganglia. This little cluster of neurons is like your brain's autopilot. It takes complex sequences of actions and turns them into habits. Brushing your teeth, driving to work, checking Instagram while on the toilet. All of these become automatic, so your brain doesn't have to waste precious energy thinking about them. Research from Duke University suggests that up to 40% of what we do every day is habitual, not the result of conscious decisions. That's right, nearly half of your day is just you running on autopilot. Your brain was like, no need to focus, I'll take care of walking. Go obsess over that cringy thing you said 10 years ago. Next, we need to understand cognitive misers. No, that's not the name of my new indie band. It's the psychological principle that states humans have a tendency to think and solve problems in the simplest and least effortful way possible. Princeton psychologist Daniel Kahneman calls this System 1 and System 2 thinking. System 1 is fast, automatic, and requires little effort, like when you instinctively duck if something is thrown at your face. System 2 is slow, deliberate, and demands concentration, like calculating 17 times 24 in your head. Guess which one your brain prefers? It's the one that doesn't make you feel like your brain is melting. Ever wonder why you keep scrolling through TikTok even though you've already seen the same dance trend 15 times? That's because your brain loves the path of least resistance. Social media platforms are designed to exploit this tendency by making content consumption as effortless as possible. You don't have to read, you don't have to analyze, you don't even have to click. Just scroll and let the dopamine wash over you. Speaking of dopamine, that's another reason your brain loves laziness. Your brain has a reward system that releases dopamine when you do something pleasurable. The problem is, your brain doesn't distinguish between good pleasure, like the satisfaction of completing a difficult task, and bad pleasure, like eating an entire pint of ice cream while watching reality TV. The key difference? One requires effort and delayed gratification, while the other gives you immediate reward. And guess what? Your brain loves immediate rewards. It's like if someone offered you $100 now or $200 next week. Most people would take the $100 now, even though waiting would double their money. When researchers hook people up to brain scanning machines and ask them to choose between tasks requiring different levels of effort, the areas associated with cost-benefit analysis light up. Your brain is literally calculating whether the reward is worth the effort, like a stingy accountant who questions every expense. And the more tired or stressed you are, the higher the perceived cost of effort. This is why you're more likely to order takeout after a long day at work. Uncertainty is part of the equation as well. Your brain hates uncertainty even more than it hates effort. The unknown represents potential danger, and your brain's #1 job is keeping you alive. Remember, this is why starting a new project feels so daunting. Your brain doesn't know what challenges lie ahead, so it encourages you to stick with what's familiar and safe. But wait, I hear you asking, what about those super productive people who seem to love working hard? Are their brains broken? Not exactly. They've just found ways to hack their brain's natural tendencies. Highly productive people make tasks less effortful by breaking them down into smaller steps. They reduce uncertainty by creating detailed plans. And most importantly, they've trained their brains to associate productivity with reward. Smart use of the environment can lead to greater benefits as well. Your brain is constantly scanning your surroundings for cues about what to do next. If you're in an environment filled with distractions and comfort, it will follow those cues toward laziness. But if you're in an environment designed for focus, like a clean desk with only the tools you need for your task, your brain will follow those cues toward productivity. There's also the momentum principle. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. and brains engaged in Netflix tend to stay engaged in Netflix. But once you get moving, it's easier to keep moving. This is why the hardest part of any task is often just getting started. Your brain resists the initial energy expenditure, but once you're in motion, continuing requires less effort than stopping and starting again later. Ever notice how cleaning your room feels impossible until you start, and then suddenly, you're reorganizing your entire closet by color? That's momentum in action. You've overcome the initial energy hurdle, and now your brain is along for the ride. You might find the 2-minute rule useful too. If something takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. This tricks your brain because 2 minutes doesn't register as a significant energy expenditure. And often, once you start a task, you realize it's not as effortful as your brain feared it would be. Social commitment can also push you forward. Your brain is highly attuned to social status and reputation. If you tell someone you're going to do something, your brain perceives the social cost of not doing it as higher than the energy cost of doing it. This is why people are more likely to show up to the gym if they have a workout buddy waiting for them. So the next time you find yourself procrastinating or taking the easy way out, remember, your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's just doing what it evolved to do over millions of years. Unfortunately, it hasn't quite caught up to the reality that in modern society, the biggest threats to our survival aren't predators or starvation, but the long-term consequences of our daily choices. Thanks for sticking around. See you in the next video.